Hello and welcome to the Otaku Podcast. My name is Steve.
And I'm David.
And we are into week 5 of the 2024 spring season. So we're going to discuss the 5th episodes of Seiyuu Radio, Remonster, and Astro Note. So I guess before I get into episode 5 of Seiyuu Radio, I'll have to apologize for how many times I've called it Seiyuu Voice unconsciously. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I worked really hard this week to try to force myself to continue saying Seiyuu Radio. God, I almost said it again. Anyways, so I apologize for being an idiot. This week's episode of Seiyuu Radio sees us dealing with the fallout of the bulk of episode 4, where Yumiko does the live webcast as a way to try to take the heat off of Chika for the casting couch accusations. She exposed the real identities of both of the girls to the public. So now there is some fallout related to their perceived dishonesty to the fans. Her manager drags her to Chika's talent agency to apologize to the president of the company. Sits down with the older gentleman. The older gentleman asks her if she regrets her decision. She thinks about it for a second and then says she doesn't regret it. She thinks it was the right thing to do. The guy starts going off on her. The tirade doesn't last long as the guy fumbles on a word and breaks into laughter. The entire thing we find out was set up by Yumiko's manager to kind of teach her a lesson. Yumiko's talent agency and Chika's talent agency had already come to an amicable reconciliation for the exposure of their real personalities. And now they're willing to work together, continue to promote the two girls. As they're leaving to get onto the elevator, they're greeted by Chika's manager, and Chika's manager trips over herself, apologizing and thanking Yumiko. Get in the elevator, get onto the first floor, run into another well-respected voice actors. This is the same one that we saw at the end of episode 4. Gets introduced to her. Her name is Meikuru. Meikuru starts out friendly and amicable, and then leans into Yumiko and turns quite vicious. Starts berating her about the choice she made to remove the veil of both Chika and hers voice acting idol personas. The reason she's upset about it is she sees it as being unprofessional and causing problems for all of the other voice actors, whose fans may now question the authenticity of their personalities. So she's really upset. Yumiko thinks the girl's being ridiculous and is quite angry about it. Has a conversation with her manager on the way away from Chika's talent agency about it. Yumiko's manager agrees with her anger, but also understands where Yumiko is coming from as well, and kind of sits in a middle ground. And is just happy that Yumiko can still work to be a successful voice actor. It brings up an episode of Meikuru's radio program as an example of something she may need to strive for, talking about how Meikuru is a really good interviewer and has been really successful in radio and TV programs beyond just being a voice actor. Because now Yumiko doesn't have the whole idol persona to bank on. She has to find a different hook to make herself sellable within the industry. There's still some fallout from the whole expose where people now know where the girls go to school, which leads a bunch of rabid internet fans to keep camping out the school to get photos of them, to interact with them. So they have to find creative ways to sneak out of the place. We come into a situation where Yumiko's escape route is no longer available, so she resorts to putting on a costume. Chika's there as well, and Yumiko offers to help Chika. Chika's disguise actually looked pretty good. Yumiko's was just putting her hair in a side pony and putting on glasses. It was pretty sad. Chika got a wig. I don't know where that wig came from, but Yumiko made Chika look like a gyaru, and then Yumiko made herself look like some bespectacled bookworm. So it worked. They got away from the fans. And then as soon as they got to safety, they both got simultaneous phone calls, each of them getting a phone call from their manager. The managers were currently together, and they wanted the girls to meet them to discuss a plan moving forward. So they meet up with them at a family restaurant. Chika is still suffering from fallout from the accusations, even though that was all kind of swept away. Most of her work that was lined up has been pulled out from under her, and she's struggling to replace it. The only thing that she really has going for her right now is the radio program, which is doing quite well, with the two girls being their real selves, and the upcoming mecha anime. So the plan that the managers have put together is that the girls are going to try to get themselves out in front of the public as much as possible, as quickly as possible, to build a fan base and reinforce their real identities, understanding that a lot of their fans are upset with them, so it'll be difficult to draw the audiences. They're going to lean into the pop group that they created with Otome, that was done in conjunction with the anime that the three of them are in, where they all play the main sisters within the story. Everybody's like, Otome works too much. How is she going to do this? And that's when it was dropped on them. Yes, you will be representing these engagements as this trio, but it's really going to mostly be the two of you, because Otome can't make time in her schedule to do this. And the bombshell that we leave the episode with is their first appearance is going to be on the radio program of Mekuru, who Yumiko had a very uncomfortable first meeting with.
Yay.
So next episode, we get to see a forced professional interaction between Yumiko, who's still probably really upset about being talked down to, rightfully so, by this veteran voice actor.
I wonder if she's going to tell Chika.
Oh, tell her of their first meeting?
Yeah.
I'm sure she will.
That interaction with the two of them, I was just like, oh, okay. Okay.
The disguise thing?
No, when
Mekuru.
Yeah, when Mekuru.
When she ran into her at Chika's agency.
Yeah, just like you ruined everything for all of us. And I'm like, oh, chill girl.
Yeah, she was,
she came out of the gate strong.
She didn't hold back.
No, she did not.
Showed up, did the professional thing, and then it was like, look, I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to show you the real me. Because hopefully it'll make you realize what's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she, I mean, you're not supposed to like her.
Right.
But she's not wrong.
I know she's not wrong.
But you still want to root for Yumiko.
You want our girls to be successful and happy. So she automatically has to be the villain, even though she's right.
Correct. And the way she did it isn't wrong either.
I know.
But yes.
I just like a good villain.
I mean, it's not like we can get
It's not like we have choice for villains.
Yeah, it's not like we can do... Well, we can do sociopaths, but... No, this... To remain within the realm of realism, this is the type of antagonism that you deal with.
Yeah, we're not getting, a Dark Lord appearing out of nowhere that's gonna,
No.
take over all of voice acting.
No. No. The episode was pretty good.
It'd be an interesting anime, though. Dark Lord voice acting.
I mean, Puni Puni Poemi.
Oh, God. Not again.
A story about an aspiring voice actor who then has to deal with cosmic forces that are trying to destroy Earth. That's the story you wanted, David. That's the story you got.
God.
Anyways, no, I thought the episode was good. I liked the continuation and dealing with the fallout. There's just one thing that ruined the episode.
Was it the fan service?
The gratuitous fan service.
I know.
It was unnecessary. It was uncomfortable. It reminded me a lot of the second episode of My Dress Up Darling.
Uh-huh.
Which I don't think you've seen.
I've not seen.
Really, really, really good anime. Good story, lovable characters. Episode 2 is uncomfortable and not necessary. But it's pretty much the entire episode. This reminded me of that, but just in a truncated version. And I don't understand why it exists outside of appeasing a portion of the audience for unknown reasons, or building upon a Yuri ending. I don't know.
I maybe think they're leaning into a Yuri ending.
Probably.
Just because Yumiko's comments about, like, oh, I get to touch her was it pretty or cute face?
I think it was cute.
How she's, like, blushing the whole time that she's putting makeup on Chika.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there was an odd sexual tension between the two of them. I did that on purpose.
Sexual tension?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, there was. There was a lot of attention. They did the trope that is common in shonen romance, where the busty female lead, whether unintentionally or intentionally, presses their large
bust
up against the character. And the male lead has this internal freak out, analyzing the texture and the feeling. But in this case, because they're both girls, Chika was vocal about, I can feel your large chest pressing against me. I don't know.
They really want us Yuri ending coming, like real hard.
Yeah. I usually prefer my Yuri aimed at a female audience instead of a male audience, though. It tends to be a little bit better of a story.
That's fair.
Instead of being Fantasyland.
Yeah. Yeah.
Another thing I didn't like, I don't like the characterizations of Chika's manager.
Yeah, she's
Scatterbrained, fumbling.
Yeah. And just very, very, I don't even know how to put like a word to it. It's very much a trope.
It is a trope. I just can't think of the archetype.
I mean, neither.
The first interaction we saw with her, she was flustered, stumbling over herself, dropping things, over the top.
Ditzy.
Yeah.
Like it's like they tried to make her to be like the blonde girl. At least that's what I kind of felt like. Like she's very airheaded, or it seemed airheaded, and just kind of like not a good representation of a woman who should be somebody's manager.
She was the exact opposite of Chika.
Yeah.
Chika's reserved, calm, professional. Her manager is not. Her manager's not professional at all.
Yeah. And then it's funny because like Yumiko's manager like super respects her and everything, and it's like, why? She seemed to be like 10 times the manager that she is.
She was able to show a little bit of that ability during the conversation in the family restaurant.
Yeah, that's fair.
She was the one who concocted the plan to try to make them.
I do think Yumiko's manager Kagasaki is actually much better than Chika's, but maybe she'll get better.
We'll see.
This episode for me kind of plateaued the hype train again.
Didn't I warn you about that?
Shut up.
I said that in the last review. I was like, we had this great drama fallout that got resolved, so now we've got to start back at the bottom.
Not that we're at the bottom. We still had that high of resolving last episode.
Continuing the resolution.
And there's still like a bunch of fallout from it.
Correct.
The only place that it really dipped was probably the fan service part.
It didn't serve any purpose to the plot.
Right.
It was a distraction.
It's a distraction. It's meant to maybe hint at that there is this Yuri plot that's trying to pop out.
I'm just hoping it has use and meaning, aside from just being pointless.
Right. I'm hoping that I'm right. It's like the girls are gonna end up together, and like it's super cute at the end, and you're like, aw, that's sweet. And like that's like Chika's way of being outgoing, is to be super flirtatious.
I can see that. Maybe. Because she's so reserved.
You know, analyzing it now, maybe that's like her version of like, that's how she's outgoing in a way, is that like she's super flirtatious.
Maybe her personality is finally crafted because she feels she needs to present this cool, stoic face to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And maybe we saw a little crack of the real her beneath it, the her that she's not pretending.
Yeah, like where she's like super flirtatious and like gets all flustered when she likes somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe that is the reason for these random, weird fan service moments. Is that's the like little cracks in her armor that she has.
Yeah.
Around herself.
The pulling away of the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That would be really cool if that's what that is.
I think we're putting
way too much hope in this.
We're putting way too much hope.
As men who are analyzing a anime that's probably meant for teenage boys, this is what we get.
Well, like I said when we were first talking about it in episode 1, we'll see if there's going to be a beach episode or not.
Oh no. This week on Remonster, episode 5 had us continuing the leveling. There was a little bit more plot this time. Goburo and his crew of merry misfits find a plot that the humans have constructed to try and capture the princess of the elves. And as she is returning from this festival that she's at, the humans launch an assault to capture her, and Gobro and Gabkichi end up intercepting them before they can make off with the princess, who's been chloroformed, I guess.
Yes.
And they end up saving her, but they don't save all the elves. Gobro.
It didn't save any of them.
Yeah, it doesn't save any of them besides her. And he ends up eating them?
Yes. Yeah, he ends up eating them.
And then he ends up eating the humans?
Yes.
And there's just a lot of him eating things.
Gaining weird random ability.
Yeah. And there was that whole thing where it's just a huge slew of abilities really, really fast.
Yeah.
And it was actually kind of hard to keep track of everything that he was gaining. He ends up saving her, takes her back to their camp. She explains to them that because she has wings, she is a high elf. Cue the drum roll. This high elf princess then explains that her dad is the leader of the elves and that taking her back would be beneficial. Gobro agrees, takes her back, and meets with the elves to try and broker an alliance with them. Getting there, he uses his OP search ability, finds that there are 25 elven archers all pointing their bows at him. Luckily, he doesn't have to fight any of them, and the princess makes them all stand down, and they end up speaking with her father, who thanks Gobro and his merry band of idiots. His merry band of idiots for their help in saving his daughter. They go back and forth. He offers a reward. Or no, he doesn't offer a reward at first. Gobro asks for a reward. He's like, oh, well, here's this like heirloom bow that we have. Take that as a reward.
Yeah, it's like he offered up what appears to be the greatest treasure that his people have.
Yeah, and I'm like, this is just an MMO. He did the quest. He found the little, exclamation point marker on the NPC,
Yep.
went, did the quest, and, returned it in, and now he has a legendary bow. Cool, it's purple.
I couldn't even understand how you're supposed to wield that thing, but I guess that's irrelevant.
Who knows? And then they ask him if he has seen their elite band of elven warriors, and he quickly goes, nope, never seen them before in my life.
Those are the ones from previous episode that showed up and tried to big dick energy him, and he just kind of undid that and fucked them all up.
Yarp.
Oh, but kept all the women.
Yarp. We're getting there. Don't worry about it. We're getting there. He then goes back with Gabkichi. He goes to bed.
Well, no. The Alliance.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I completely forgot. He brokers an alliance with the elves and basically is like, when the humans attack, give me a call.
He finds out, so he tortured the humans before he killed them, and finds out that they're planning to attack in 20 days. So
Oh, I must have missed that part.
he then presents this information to the Elven Chieftain. The Elven Chieftain is so impressed with the reconnaissance work that he does, he decides to further their negotiations and offers them. They do a bunch of trading as well.
That's
as
right.
part of this.
They do a bunch of trading.
Form a independent alliance
Right.
as a defensive against the humans.
Yeah, so they form a defensive pack, and then Gobro leaves and goes back to his cave where he wakes up to find that Gobmi has evolved into a Dhampir and has also found that pretty much all of the main characters of the Merry Band of Idiots have all evolved into these like really high level rare creature types. We get a Earthay, which is some weird Earth Lord thing.
Yeah, I couldn't understand. She like seeks treasures out, and she can just pound through any solid material with her bare fists.
Yeah, that was Gobe, and then
Habsato
becomes a half bloody lord who uses blood magic, and then
yeah, the name she's given is Blood Sato.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that.
Oh, sorry.
Gobgigi sees all these new evolutions is like, you all need different names so that it's not confusing anymore.
Which answers the question I brought up last time.
Yes. And so Gobro gets named into Ogoro, Gabkichi gets named into Ogrekichi, Gobmi gets named to Dami, Gobe gets renamed to Earthay, Habsato gets named to Blood Sato, and Habse gets renamed to Spellsay.
And Gobji.
Oh, and Gobji gets named into Hobji.
Yeah.
And so because they all have leveled up, they all get new names, and they begin to resolve that. It turns out that Ogre Kichi now, excuse me, has a crush on Earthay, and he tells Gobro, who then is like, just do it, man. Tell her you like her, in a very like bro-fisty kind of way.
Yeah.
And then they give us the fake out thinking that Earthsay doesn't like him, and it turns out she does. And so there's that whole
Night of coupling.
And
where,
then
where they were amazed that either of them could walk the next day.
yeah, and then Ogre Kichi's like 10 times stronger because, you know, he got that good puss. And then the elves start like joining in, the elves that they captured. They want to now participate in all this.
Well,
They participate after some convincing. He gave them that good dick. Because, you know, you can solve any of your problems if you have a good enough penis.
well, okay. So why did he have to fuck them to convince them? Do you remember what led up to that?
Some stupid fucking thing.
Okay, so
Made my brain
they,
hurt.
they were going to start training, and he's like, if you're going to train with us, you need to wear these, you know, these communication headsets.
Yeah, it's the stupid earbud thing. And they're like, it won't...
And so
we can't violate our ears.
Yeah,
And then he violated them.
apparently the elves in Remonster have a stigma about adorning their ears. And so to convince them, he bangs them all. I don't understand the line of thinking,
I don't understand the logic either.
but it's what we have now. And they're like, cool, I'll wear the ear jewelry. Thanks.
This is literally, do you got that good dick or what? The anime.
Yes.
And it appears that Oguro has the good dick.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Well, he's got the libido power.
He's got the fucking got dick magic.
He does have a dick magic. I'm still confused as to where he picked that. What did he eat that gave that to him? I want to know that.
Was it the orc? It was really weird. I think it's in episode 2 where he gets it.
That would be really weird.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is up with the orcs?
Perverts.
I guess.
Well, if they want to play into the stereotype, rapey, orky bullshit.
Sure.
Gives them that sweet dick music. They now, you know, submit to his will, and they begin training. They also get the kobolds on board to start training. They go get the kobolds out of their cave. Earthsay has fun, you know, collapsing the cave because she's a earth magic person now. The elves end up showing up. The elves from the village with the king end up showing up, and they're like, the humans are like getting ready to attack. And then Gobro goes into the Ogro. God, I gotta put some respect on that that evolution.
Right.
He's like, good thing I hid the other elves to make them look like dark elves.
Yeah.
And like, really? Thanks for the Deus Ex Machina.
Yes, apparently he put some kind of glamour on the earpieces.
To tell you, my eyes rolled so much this episode.
It was so dumb.
Is such an understatement.
So bad.
I thought my eyes were gonna pop out of my head. Anyway, we're almost to the end of this episode. More training, more being awesome, more leveling up. He eats a bug that gives him an exoskeleton. And
That was funny.
And it rips all of his clothes, or it doesn't rip all of his clothes off, but it makes all his clothes disappear, and everybody's like, my.
That was pretty.
It's just like,
His
clothes turned into the exoskeleton, but when he unclothed, or when he unexoskeletoned, he was butt fucking naked.
Clothes didn't return, and everybody was like, damn, son.
And then he finds out that he has basically MMO transmogs.
Yes.
It's like, this show needs to pick a lane. To say that I'm just like flabbergasted with this show.
Elaine is big dick energy.
Sweet dick music.
Sweet.
Am I missing anything important? Or is it safe to say that it ends with more leveling?
No.
He figures out that he can make different leveled skeletons by putting different amounts of mana.
Yeah, he has a ready-made skeleton XP grinder.
Yeah. And it's
Well, we know the human attack is pending.
the human attack is pending.
So hopefully next episode we will have that.
That's what we said last episode.
This is true, but they figured out ways of distracting us more.
Lots of good dicking. Okay, if your dick's so good that you can convince somebody to put something in their ear, I'm calling that good dicking. If you thought that the fan service
It was so uncomfortable.
Seiyuu Radio was bad.
I don't.
This is worse.
I don't even know where to begin with the problems of they're not listening to what I want to tell them, so I'm just gonna bang them and convince them. I can't even begin to explain why.
You know,
that's wrong.
I thought this was gonna be a cool anime about just fighting as a goblin.
I mean, it is.
And there's just so much dicking. Like, I didn't even suffer that bad through the Seiyuu voice fan service.
Seiyuu Radio.
God damn it! It's your fault.
I have infected.
It's your fault.
I apologize for infecting your brain. Seiyuu Radio.
After watching Puni Puni Poemi, I was like okay with the fan service from Seiyuu Radio.
Here's the thing.
And then this happened, and I just was like, why?
Here's the thing with Remaster, though. It's not even really fan service.
Right. It's just.
It's all. Oh my God, what's the term?
Gratuitous harem.
It's all implied. Everything is implied.
Right.
With Remaster.
But there was still a lot of fan service too. Like when Gabmi evolved, or sorry,
into the Dami
evolved into the Dampier, she was Jesus.
You know, it's like the Vampirilla thing.
Sure.
So, did you pick up on he mentions it.
She looks like the girl that killed him.
It's probably the girl that killed him.
It's probably the girl that killed him.
He doesn't realize that yet. There's a good chance that she doesn't realize what's going on, if it is her.
Maybe. Or she does. She's just getting close to him to kill him again. And then he'll get reincarnated again, and we gotta start the cycle all over again.
She's gonna follow him again.
Oh, God. She just slit her own throat right after she stabbed him to death.
Yeah, I don't know. We might find out. It's gotta be her, though. It definitely has to.
Or we're just gonna continue to get that long dickin'.
I mean, what it comes down to it. Episode 13 will show up. We will talk about episode 13. And then we will stop watching the show for the podcast. Whether or not we'll stop watching the show in general, different story. But we won't be talking about it in the podcast.
It'll be the happiest day of my life.
You have 2 more months, my friend.
Oh, God.
Nah, the episode was what it was. We got a little bit more development.
Was the spoiler in this episode?
Nope.
Oh, God, and it's even later.
I don't know where that image came from.
Oh, no. It's even further in.
And I had to remind myself what some of the names were, and so I tried to be lazy about it and jumped on Wikipedia, but the Wikipedia article is terribly updated. But I did notice a thing that's in relation to this spoiler that I saw.
Nice.
So I think the image of the spoiler doesn't come from the anime. It probably came from the manga. Okay. Or light novels or whatever. I totally forget what the original source material of the story is.
God,
it's
manga
coming.
and or light novel is probably far more cursed than this anime.
Coming. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not willing to find out, honestly.
I'm not willing to find out either, but maybe I'll just go see if I can find it at like a store and just like, oh, yep, there it is. All right, put it back. Open volume 1 or 2, just kind of like do a quick breeze through it.
I have umbrage with the way the author translates the concept of high elf.
Yeah.
They missed the point.
Oh, yeah.
High elf in high fantasy is the noblest, most stuck up of the elven, clans.
Usually.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Almost always. So
there's a few exceptions where high elves are just ones that prefer to live in like cities and things like that.
Yeah.
Versus wood elves that just live in in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
The difference between a high elf and a wood elf, it's like they don't really think they're better than the other. It's just I prefer to live in the woods or I prefer to live in a city. So
Remonster's translation of high elf is eventually they evolve and gain wings like fairies, thus high elf.
They can fly.
I slapped my forehead when she said that.
I rolled my eyes very hard.
Like, no, it's the second misunderstood English loanword I've seen this season. The first one was in the anime Bartender Glass of God. Mm-hmm. In the first episode, the bartender character is explaining what bartender means. And the definition of tender that they use was somebody who provides kindness and is gentle. Instead of the literal, no. They're the person that is tending to the bar. It hurt. It hurt a lot.
Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, it hurt. But,
Oh man, that's terrible.
That is really bad. I forget what the bar was. The bar was like, I guess it kind of makes sense. But the tender thing was like, no, you misunderstood what that is.
Here's the point. You missed it.
You shouldn't have Google translated that.
Oh god. Even everyone's guilty of using Google Translate inappropriately.
True. Yeah, we'll see what episode 6 looks like. This week's episode of Astro Note picks up where episode 4 left off. Takumi is devastated by the idea that Mira and Shoin Ginger are frequenting a love hotel. His mental anguish is translating into his culinary abilities, and everybody is concerned with how bland the breakfast is, to the point where Teruko offers to set him up with a friend of hers from college. And we find out that he likes girls with short hair.
Fair.
Because her friend, in the picture that she shows him, has short hair. While this is going on, Aoi is stalking Kumi. Naosuke catches her and finds an opportunity. He hides himself away and starts to talk to her like a voice from the heavens, telling her that in order to...
Wasn't he hiding behind like a tiki mask?
No. He turned around the corner and was trying to project his voice, and she locked onto the tiki mask, thinking the tiki mask was talking to her, which in itself is a side thing with her that we need to discuss later, because that was concerning.
Fair.
Anyways.
She hears voices. Sorry. I just made that connection.
Oh yeah. The fact that Naosuke has he has no morals. Well, no.
Understatement.
His moral is he just needs to accomplish what his responsibilities are, and he will do it by any means necessary. To the point of manipulating a girl who is obviously damaged
to achieve his goals. So he's convinced he is turning himself into a disembodied voice. Naosuke's a piece of shit.
He is kind of a piece of shit, isn't he? So Naosuke
I didn't think of that right away. Holy God, that dog is a piece of shit.
Naosuke is trying to convince Aoi to go after Takumi.
Which is not a sentence I thought I would utter. That dog is a piece of shit.
That dog is a piece of shit.
Fair.
So Naosuke is trying to convince Aoi to go after Takumi and says, he likes short hair. Sinks a thought bubble into her brain.
Yep, and then she cuts her hair.
She doesn't do it yet. She'll get to there.
Yeah, she gets there.
She does cut her hair though, yeah. We also see the return of the Hubby's robotic pelican, who has...
Goddamn pelican.
Who has also seen the exchange.
And also has robotic vomit.
So we actually shift back to Ren. We start focusing a little bit more on Ren again. Surprisingly. Ren comes home from school. He's down again. This time he's hiding something. He's hiding a magazine or something. Tomohiro notices this. In the evening, he comes across...
Shochiki and...
Takumi and Shochiki. We're about to settle in for a celebration feast because Takumi took the idea of him letting his abilities flag because of his own personal issues to heart and made way too much food.
A shit ton of potato salad.
A shit ton of potato salad. And then he's drying all this squid. Like all of this squid is just drying in the yard.
It is super important that we mention
the squid.
The potato.
The potato. Yeah, when he's peeling the potatoes, he's so deep in thought in regards to Mira, he ends up peeling one of them to look like Mira. It was really funny. And it starts being animated for a little bit until he snaps out of his delusions.
Yeah.
So Tomohiro comes to the two of them. It essentially is the only other men within the establishment to seek their advice. He's afraid that his innocent little boy is getting into porno mags.
Which Takumi immediately...
Oh, yeah. No, they're both like, he's of that age. It's fine.
Yeah, but then also Takumi's just like, people don't read porn mags anymore.
Oh, this is true.
There's the internet.
There's the internet. Yeah, we all have the internet. Who would have a porno?
Yeah, it's all free on the internet.
It's all free on the internet. They say. Yep. So Ren shows up and they hush up really quick. And Ren's like, you guys are kind of weird, but I'm going to go take a bath. And they're like, oh, opportunity. While he's distracted and we know he won't be around, let's go see what he has. So they sneak off to the room and they dig into it and they find out it's a fashion magazine. Mm. They're like, oh, the fashion magazine has a lot of articles dealing with a specific idol.
Yeah,
They're like,
a fashionista.
It's like, oh, he's got to be obsessed with her. Cut to Ren. Ren's in the bathroom. Someone else is already using the bathroom. He gets distracted by the pile of clothing, focusing on the bra.
Well,
just as the door opens and
Teruko
comes out, it seems like Ren is reaching for the bra. Before she can do anything, something drops on her. That something is this weird
robotic vomit thing from the Hubby bird.
A gelatinous being that was excreted from the bird a little bit earlier in the evening. Ren chases after it.
It takes on the shape of a squid.
It does take on the shape of the squid. The whole house is now involved.
Yeah.
Fling open the doors to the yard where all the squid are drying. It doesn't hide itself very well, and they chase after it, but it gets away. Before they can resolve that, come back into the main room. Teruko comes out and is like, we need to talk. This kid was stealing my underwear. So they start berating into him for being a panty thief.
Tomohiro is on his forehead.
Oh, yeah.
Apologizing.
Yeah. Yeah, Tomohiro and Ren prostrate themselves.
Well, Tomohiro prostrates himself more than Ren does.
Sure, but, Ren's... I'm pretty sure Tomohiro forced Ren to bow low and beg for forgiveness.
Right.
From the wrath of Teruko for, trying to steal her underwear. Ren steps up and defends himself, though, that it was a misunderstanding. Ren's into cross-dressing, and he really just he could not resist the urge to try on her skirt. Teruko sees a different light and goes, oh, if that's it,
you just asked.
Yeah, you just gotta ask. Tomohiro freaks out.
Yeah.
Everybody else is like, what's the problem? Like, it's as long as he asks, who cares? And Tomohiro's like, but what if everybody will see you and then they'll start
bullying
you, just like everybody bullies me for not being a productive member of society. Everybody then lashes into him and goes,
that's fucked up.
Dude, that's a different situation, and you're actually in control of your problem. Your son's potential problem is other people.
Yeah.
So what is wrong with him dressing in girls' clothes while he's within the sanctity of the house? He agrees with it, and Ren begins to wear dresses and skirts to his heart's content, and boy is he happy.
It was adorable.
It was so cute. So the whole there was an entire misunderstanding with him having an infatuation with this girl from his class.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like her.
He likes her clothes.
He liked her fashion.
Which is super cute.
It's so cute. We cut a little bit disjointedly. We kind of cut to Takumi and Mira individually deep in thought. Takumi is still trying to... Wait.
No, you're skipping a part.
Oh my god.
This is so...
I am.
After that...
Oh my god. No, this was before all of that.
Oh, it was before all of that. That's right.
I completely missed
We make mistakes.
I completely missed the entire event that happened in the afternoon.
Yeah, so important part that we forgot because you were so confidently going into the...
I was so confidently going into the Ren thing.
Takumi is out and about.
Yeah, he went grocery shopping.
And Aoi happens to find him out in the street. She calls after him, and she is dressed very nice and has cut her hair short. And at first, Takumi didn't even recognize her.
It took him about a second.
He took a second.
Yeah.
But it's still super important that he didn't recognize her at first.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, oh, Aoi, wow, you look really nice. Like, he calls her cute. And then he sees the old lady from Osaka and is like, oh, we gotta get out of here, and grabs her hand, and they go running off together, trying to get away from this old bat that's gonna talk their ears off. They end up just outside of the Love Hotel, and as they're outside, Shoin and Mira come outside and
see them holding hands.
And Takumi's just like, we're not here to use the Love Hotel, starts panicking, saying that it's not what it looks like. And Shoin goes, Love Hotel? And he goes, yeah, this place is a Love Hotel, isn't it? And Shoin's like, no, this is my house, which we called it.
Oh, yeah. And Takumi then had to explain to both Mira and Shoin what a Love Hotel was.
Yes, he had to explain to them what a Love Hotel was.
Which they're both kind of like, oh, okay, interesting.
And then they all start heading back to the Astro Lodge. And Shoin asks if he can come to breakfast, because a little bit before this, Shoin had talked to Mira about her new infatuation with Earth, and she started talking about how much she loves the food on the planet and how much she loves the food that Takumi makes.
Yep.
And Shoin wants to try it too, and so he asks permission to come to the Astro Lodge to have breakfast with them.
Mira tells him that he needs to try it himself.
Which, as they're all walking together, as Shoin and Takumi are walking next to each other, and Mira and Aoi are walking next to each other, Takumi is thinking about how happy he sees Mira with Shoin, and Mira is thinking about why was he holding Aoi's hand.
Yep.
And they're like simultaneously having very similar thoughts. And now we can go back to after.
I was checking through the notes.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't actually get this out of order. This all does take place after the Ren.
Oh, okay. See, I was confident.
Yeah, I was not. So we finally get a look into Mira's thoughts about Takumi.
Which
There
seems like she likes him.
seems like she's mildly jealous or concerned about his relationship with Aoi in the way it was presented.
She's infatuated.
I think she does like him, yeah.
I'm excited.
Before we can delve further on that, Shochiki shows up to her room, saying he's found the oldest picture he can find of the previous landlord, and gives it to her. There's a woman in the picture.
And it's her mom.
Well, it looks like her mom. She goes,
she's like, it says, that's right, she says it looks like her mom.
yeah. Before she can think about this, Takumi shows up. Just as Takumi knocks on the door, her communicator with home fires off, says there's a message. The communicator misunderstands what Mira is doing and responds positively to Mira asking Takumi a questionable response to Takumi's question through the door. He asks her something and she's like, what? But says what in like a questioning yes.
She says yes questioningly.
Yeah, correct.
Like a, hey, what's going, or like, well, hey, are you in there? And you, yes.
That one translates a little bit weird between Japanese and English.
Fair.
Because she's saying the Japanese word hi, which is normally yes, in a questioning way. It's not necessarily saying yes, question mark. It's more of like, what?
Right, but
anyway.
in English.
Correct.
Saying yes like that is also like saying what?
Yes.
It's all inflection of the voice.
Correct.
It's just, you're being overly critical.
Fair. That's my reality.
I love you, Steve.
So the transmission goes through. Mira and Naosuke freak out. Naosuke panics and runs to the door to try to bar it, and instead just opens it wide open to Takumi. Takumi comes in thinking, cool. And he's like, wait a minute. Why is your room so different? Before anything else can happen, the transmission fires off, and they're greeted with the presence of
the Queen,
Mira's mother. That's where the episode ends.
That was an
important thing too, just with how desperate Naosuke is. Naosuke stood up on his hind legs and barked is a bad term, but barked an order at Takumi that he needed to leave the room immediately, with no fear for the consequences of revealing the fact that he is not a dog.
Yes.
Because he understood that what would happen beyond that was more problematic.
Yep.
All right, so we end.
This is a 10 out of 10 episode.
This is really good.
Every single one of these episodes so far has been fucking amazing.
So Mira's part human.
Probably.
I think so. I don't think her dad was a Weedo.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Who abandoned the planet and came to Earth. I think he was an Earthling, a human in the entire time. And that for some reason that I'm sure we'll find out in episode 6, her mother came to him and sparks flew. Yep. So I think that's the whole thing.
Probably. And then she, gets that whole dilemma of, do I choose my,
Yep.
Which home do I choose?
Yeah. Because, that was always the thing of, if Takumi does win her heart, how is that going to work?
Right. She's a freaking alien. But now it turns out she's only a half alien. Which means their species is compatible.
very much Tenchi Muyo style of alien royalty that's also human.
Yeah. There's a couple of things where that stereotype exists. Or not stereotype, that
Tenchi Muyo series is, I don't know if it's the original harem, but it's considered the king of the harems.
Okay.
And currently king of polyamory.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Because after a while, Tenchi was like, I just want to make all of these women happy. And they agreed with him. Anyways, side story. Side quest, perhaps.
Potentially. This episode gave us all the talking points it possibly could.
The episode is good. I love the development with Ren. That was fantastic.
It was, oh my God.
It was great.
To say I audibly is, just like, oh, that's so cute.
It was really cute. It was very touching.
I like the kind of development with Aoi.
I'm afraid for her mental health.
I am too. That was a potential thing that I thought of, is if Mira doesn't stay, then are we gonna get this subplot of him with, not subplot, this like, of him with Aoi instead?
Well, if I leaned into the idea of this is just repeating Mason Ikoku, there was a point within Mason Ikoku where the main character does have a girlfriend. And it causes tension between himself and then the real, leading female. Maybe we could. I mean, we already have some of that tension anyways, but it's nothing official. It's just assumptions.
Right.
And speculation.
Maybe.
But I like the fact that we now got to see a little bit of positive reinforcement from Mira's side towards Takumi.
Reciprocation,
yes.
But you did bring up a wonderful point that Aoi maybe hears voices.
Maybe not necessarily that she hears voices, but she's willing to hear voices.
Yeah.
She's willing to accept a tiki god mask talking to her, even though it was Naosuke.
To be fair, weird shit does happen in this house.
Not really, though.
That's true. As far as they know.
We see it from the viewer's standpoint. The only character that's really seen the true depth of craziness is Ren.
Yeah, that's true.
So you got to think about it. The viewers are the only ones that see the weird, unnatural. Well, no, I still don't understand why Takumi didn't question anything that happened on their way to Enoshima. Fighting a mechanical bird, showing Ginger's car flying. Like, none of that.
The surface-to-man missile.
The surface-to-man missile. Like, none of that clicked within his brain. I think we can just chalk it up to he's just too far gone in his own internal drama over his feelings for Mira.
Where he has brain damage.
He probably is. I think, yeah, I don't know.
Did he fall at any point in the first two episodes? When she landed on him. He has brain damage. None of this is real.
He got concussed. Oh, God. He got concussed when he caught her. When she caught her.
This is all a dream.
It's
a dream anime.
I loved when Ren when Ren stumbled upon Naosuke in the middle of the night, and Naosuke's like, gotta act like a dog, and Ren's like, I know you're not a dog, don't worry about it.
And he's still just...
Yeah, but that all went out the window when the message from Mom showed up. I wonder
Or maybe Takumi's just gonna be like, oh, you really like that movie that we watched.
It'll be interesting to see how they spin all of this to continue to keep the veil of normalcy in place.
He's gonna ignore all of it like he did with Shoin and the...
Absolutely gonna ignore all of it.
It's just gonna be like the flying car and the surface-to-man missile. Like, this man.
He has problems.
No wonder he can't find a stable job.
Well, it's not his fault.
That was mean.
The restaurant the hotel that the restaurant was in went out of business.
Fair, but I think he has brain damage.
It was a fantastic episode.
When Mira's ass dropped from heaven, it did a little bit more than made him fall in love. Fucked his brain up.
I guess that's a good place to start with the wrap up. Seiyuu Radio was pretty good.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Aside from the painful distraction, as of yet doesn't serve a purpose.
I'm hoping that it's Chika's like gooey
insides.
Her actual personality.
Yeah.
That she hides underneath this layer of I'm a badass. Remonster was Remonster.
Hi, Elf.
I give it 2 high elves out of what the fuck's going on.
Hopefully episode 6 will have more than just internal dialogue and
leveling.
Persuasion through penis.
Sweet dick music.
He could persuade the humans through his penis too. I wonder if he's going to capture a bunch of female humans.
Can we start referring to it as sweet dick music?
Sweet dick music?
That's I move to have it be referred to as sweet dick music for the rest of the season.
I think we can do that.
Yes.
I fear that the show is going to go more than one season.
Oh, I bet you bet your sweet bippy it will.
I mean,
it's a fucking shonen anime.
Nah, not even that. Like, people, they love promoting. We got 4 seasons as of yet of Rent a Girlfriend.
Ugh.
And only 1 season of Skipping Over.
Rest in peace, Skipping Over.
Astro Note was great. It was fantastic. This may have been, I think this may have been the most enjoyable episode yet.
Yes, it was very enjoyable.
The whole side thing with Ren and his infatuation with wanting to dress up as a girl was fantastic.
It was super cute.
It was great.
Super, like, I really like that 3 episode story arc that he had.
Yeah. So remember when I mentioned that there was another girl that was going to show up?
Yeah.
It's Aoi. It's Aoi after she cleans herself up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So we're not going to...
We're not getting another person in this house.
Or at least I'm not expecting to get another side character based upon what I saw in the previews.
Let's get another guy. Let's have 3 dudes fighting for Mira.
I don't think that
Completely kidding.
yeah. Showing Ginger isn't fighting for Mira though. He's there to help her as a friend and to do what he can to, in what he thinks is her best.
Then
interest.
let's get a second guy.
Yeah. We need a well, I don't know.
It's the plot twist we always wanted.
The show continues.
This show drops plot twists like a guy with singles at a strip club.
I don't know if it's necessarily a plot twist. I think
it's like, let's go.
I think it's just exploring different avenues of narration.
Okay, it keeps hitting us with new plots, like a guy with singles at a strip club. Just
Yeah. It's raining plot ideas.
and I love it.
It's great.
There's all this just awesome plot happening. It's just like I'm absorbing all of it.
And the characters are all lovable.
Yeah, I love every single one of the characters. There's no character that shows up and I'm just like, ugh. No,
That's all the characters in Remonster.
Hell yeah.
Oh no, not them. Oh, why do we have to watch? Oh wait, they're just actually the characters of the show.
Oh god, where did this person come from? Oh, we've been following this person the whole time. Oh,
This character's terrible. Why'd they write him in here? Oh, it's the main character? Oh, never mind.
you're telling me that's the main character?
Oh, that's a terrible main character. Sure you guys wanted to write this?
Says 2 guys sitting up in the upstairs of your house. What have we written? Nothing.
That's fair. That's fair.
We just judge other people's shit. And it's not even for a living either.
No.
It's purely for entertainment.
Purely for entertainment.
Help us, we're bored.
I thought it would be fun to force David to watch things.
It is fun.
Like Puni Puni Puemi.
Oh, God.
Speaking of, if you have not yet, you should check out our side quest episode of the Otaku Network podcast. We've dropped the first one so far, and it's on Puni Puni Puemi, which was a crazed 2-episode OAV from 2001 that kind of broke David a little bit.
If you like my suffering, it's a prime episode.
I guess we can wrap it up. Anything else?
Stay away from that sweet dick music.
Thanks again for listening, everybody. See you next week.
See you next week.